It's part of it, man.
Is awesome.
Cool.
All right. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Audio Bar. We are here, episode 10. As always, I'm your host, Mike Sains. Today we're coming to you live, not from Blue Hippo Recordings in Centreville, Virginia, but rather from an undisclosed location for our holiday celebration. And joining us here is the band of tomorrow. Thank you guys for being here. Since we are on a podcast and video for the listeners, if you could introduce yourselves left to right, name and instrument that you play in the band.
Sure, I'm Jeff Browning from Shrewsbury, Massachusetts originally. I play guitar and sing.
John Modell, play drums.
Nick Soderstrom.
And how many other people are in the band other than you three?
Usually 3 others, sometimes 4. We kind of set it up so that it could be any number of people. We really wanted that kind of like variety at our shows, you know, and just write songs with the ability to work with different people. So we've been really lucky with the people we work with.
Essentially, it's the 3 of us who sort of came together and wrote a lot of the songs. We started finding the most talented people who we could find from the area and teaching them the songs and having them in. We kind of rotate with, you know, keyboard players, horn players, and it always keeps everything really fresh and really interesting, really creative, really inspiring. You know, no 2 shows are the same. The songs can breathe. It's awesome.
Cameo. And so how did we get here today? How did the band of tomorrow get formed? How do you 3 and the additional members form this band to begin with?
Nick? You want to start that?
Well, all right. So originally it was just John and I, and we recorded this like super group album that John wanted to work on a couple of years ago, and then we wanted to make a band out of it, but not everyone was available to do that from the original project, but we kept writing tunes and refining them and coming up with ideas and stuff. And then the guys, some dudes asked us to play a gig, and we had like a week's notice or 2 weeks.
How long
notice.
ago are we talking now?
Like about a year.
About a year ago?
And a quarter. Yeah.
Okay. How long have y'all been playing together before Of Tomorrow got formed?
Yeah, so like only about 3 months before that. Nick and I met at a jam session with a lot of the people here.
And then,
Wait. You guys met at the Iota Jam?
No, the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, no, one night actually Gordon put us up on stage and said, this guy Nick's gonna play bass. I don't know if he can play, but let's just try this.
And we're just
I was
here
like,
now.
I was like, we gotta start a band, you know?
And, then with me, the conversation was basically like, hey, it's good to see you. So we're playing the show next Friday with this new band. Do you want to play and learn the songs? And I was just like, sure.
Always say yes?
Well, the timing was perfect.
Right.
And then I would point out too, there are 30 or 40 or 50 people here who are a lot of our closest friends who are the community who's really sprung up and kept us going and made it happen. And they're all being very quiet, sitting up in the rafters right now. So
we will not acknowledge them at all.
So Jeff jumped in, you know, on that first gig where we had a gig and we only had 2 guys to play it. And so we ended up with 4, and then, you know, we had another gig a week later, and Jeff was on every gig we played. And, you know, it wasn't long before we decided to, you know, be a trio, essentially. But we have never played with less than 5 people, really. Like a couple times 4.
Who did you first add on?
Add on.
Well, it's the 3 of us, but everyone else is sort of rotating.
I think I can kind of answer that, though. But I mean, it did kind of start with Ralph Ralph Washington, who's here
with
tonight.
Odyssey and Good Company,
and
good guy.
And Jenna, and we played with James Hell from the jam scene too, and
Greg Lohman from the Funk Arc,
and
Danny and Mario, Yellow Dubmarine,
you know, whatever. We just, every show is like, we got this we were trying to start a band. We got this basic setup, basic songs, and we know it's going to work because everyone we're playing with is great.
Top notch.
So it's going to be cool, you know. And so now we've gotten into a lot more structured music over the year, and now we have, you know, it's grown into a formal thing.
Yeah.
For the first show, just kind of like testing the concept, we practiced for about 45 minutes for a 3-hour set, just to see if it worked and see how it felt.
Just to see.
And we had so much fun that then it's like, oh, these riffs that we're coming up with, like, let's keep on developing them. And now they're structured, but they also have a lot of breathing room in the middle where the new people who are coming in have tons of space to just bring what they do to it. Like you'll see when you're taping later, just the way that people come and throw down. It's really fun.
But to get to that point, it takes a lot of both discipline, practice, and talent. So how many years of collective experience do we have, at least between the three of you guys sitting right here?
Start about when we each started playing.
Yeah. Or on the scene, at least.
An embarrassing number of years, actually.
we're gonna start dating Jonathan.
Toured the
I don't
country
wanna
with
even
all kinds of,
a lot of years.
and played with a lot of amazing people too. I'm sure
Yeah,
you don't want to give
actually.
yourself credit, but like,
How about you? How many years
well,
would you say?
my mom's a music teacher. My grandfather was a musician who actually played in the Marine Corps band in World War II. So his band basically got called upon to go to the Pacific, and the band turned into a fighting unit. And it's a pretty crazy story when you look at it.
It could be a movie, actually.
Yeah,
Now that we're talking about it.
So but then my mom's a music teacher, so I've basically been playing since early.
Are all three of you classically trained?
Possibly.
Like music teachers and the academy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's
This guy.
I went
This
to
guy over here,
Conservatory and
Sweden.
talk about that a little bit.
all right. Well, I mean, I went to Duke Ellington School of Performing Arts,
Which is like fame. It's like music high school.
Music high school.
basically, yeah. I went to the high school musical, and then I did a couple years in New Orleans at
Wow.
Loyola, and lived there for a while and jammed. And then I went to Conservatory in Sweden.
So we put all of this together, and you guys have an album coming out.
January 1st, 2017.
Let's talk about that now. What is that called?
Squids.
Squids. So what kind of album are we looking at? What kind of sound are we talking about?
Is it not called the Squids?
It's called Squids, yeah.
Yeah.
That was decided just now. John was like,
That was.
is it?
That was decided like 6 months ago. Yeah, so the album, we recorded that, like we started recording it with a similar philosophy of, we've got these great people, we've got these, basic ideas, like a little more than basic, so let's go, we'll get this done. And then over the course of the last 9 months, we've really refined the songs and brought even more people in, recorded parts of it in Ryan's, basement, Jeff's house, all over in New Jersey. It's
Wow.
so many people have gotten involved, and it's just kind of like, that's really what I think has helped us craft a lot of those songs. And so, yeah, we're excited to get it out and start, showing people how our songs sound.
We've put so much energy into like every second of this album. It's a full-length album. These guys really want to do a full-length album first. I was like, hey, that's ambitious, but I'm really glad we did. And we put so much energy and effort into every second of it, and so many talented people did.
Yeah, your
Like
songs
Rob-
are gigantic. I mean, it's
They're
like,
crazy.
it makes sense to do a full-length album. But what are some lessons or challenges that you guys learned or faced in the studio that, like, you came away like having?
Can I start this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think tonight is actually the kind of the culmination of that. That tonight we're recording 3 songs live on the spot, which is a similar idea, but now we're really prepared.
Yeah.
We worked with these musicians like
Yeah.
live for this time.
Dedicated rehearsal.
And we've actually dedicated ourselves to like refining these songs before we record them. And we've actually also, some of them were written over a year ago, and we've played them out and let them grow. And
Evolve.
But they're not
people
on the
have
album.
come in, yeah, but they're not on the album.
Oh.
So
None of the 3
This is
recorded
a better
together.
way. Like we've learned to actually finish our songs before
Yeah.
we record them. Silly lesson, but
lessons
it's a
learned.
painful lesson that we learned
And-
from that last process.
I mean, Rob Schaefer, our producer, is super patient and very talented, and as a result, we kind of we learned that there are some things that we could have done earlier in the process, might have made it easy
For
later in the
example?
process. For example, getting having a more we went in and we wanted to keep it super loose. And we did keep it super loose, but for a studio setting, it's better to have, I think, a defined structure.
Absolutely.
Or at
On
least,
studio
at least
time.
a roadmap. At least a roadmap where if you're going to go off and get weird at one point, that's cool. But at least knowing what to expect. So tonight we put a lot of effort into preparing for that. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, what are some, I guess, do you have a single off of the album or a highlight track that's like anything, or is it just a full-on complete work?
Total plug. Yeah, we have 3 songs out for download now on our website, bandoftomorrow.com.
And those are, for the listeners?
One of them is called Anywhere, which is a kind of a funk tune, but it goes out. And the other one is a Latin jazz tune, a Latin rock tune,
Big
some
samba,
kind of a Latin tune.
big band samba song, which I did backup vocals with my sister on, by the way. Latin jazz fusion. Yeah.
Latin jazz fusion too, called Every Day. And then the third one is
Native City.
It's got more of a neo soul feel to it. So we really, we do want to include all the genres that we have played before we started this band, and like not cancel out any of our collective experience and be like, that doesn't belong here. Very much the spirit is like we come from a lot of places. I grew up playing punk, hip hop, improv, jazz, funk.
That's
whatever.
actually quite a leap.
Well, yeah, but it's not for me. So it has to be there.
Right.
Like, I want if I'm in a band, forming a band, I don't want part of me to not be like allowed there.
Past
So
influences are making it whether you know it or not, sort of.
right.
Well, and that definitely shows because the album has on it funk, rock, hip hop, trip hop, reggae, samba, neo soul.
I was having a hard
And
time
there's-
describing you
It's
guys.
all over the place. There's this one song called Bass Love where Nick does dueling bass solo with John Ferreira from Consider the
Oh,
Source,
my
our friend
God.
John Ferreira. It's fire. We got video of it too. We're gonna try and maybe cut it up and
Okay,
release it,
I'm
so,
excited
yeah.
for that as it is. So as far as the future of tomorrow, I've been waiting to say that one. What do you guys got coming up on, for 2017?
So it's gonna be the album drops on January 1st. The first of the 3 videos we're doing tonight is gonna drop just before New Year's. The second one will probably be on Inauguration Day, and the third one will be in February. And we're gonna be playing out. We're gonna be playing festivals. Within our radius, which is we haven't toured in Colorado and California, but we had a really good time in like Asbury Park, Boston, New York. We've had really good times in all these places in Northern Virginia, Richmond, Baltimore, and at DC too. Like we have a pretty steady thing going on U Street in DC. The parties have been a lot of fun. So we're gonna be out and about. Everyone should come check us out. If you go to the website, you can sign up, get the album for free, and
We're gonna write more music too.
we're gonna write more
Excellent.
stuff to go play.
Yeah.
So last question, I guess. Band goals, things you'd like to achieve for 2017. Things that
Nick?
maybe got left on the table or left out that you want to get to.
Just really interested in writing more music.
That's a hell of a goal.
Yeah. Continuing.
Yeah, I just want to play with these guys and all the rest of the people we play with. It's a great experience for me, and I'd also like to learn how to pre-produce a little more and keep learning new drum styles and new techniques that I can bring to the music.
Excellent.
I would like to do something that we can all look back on and be really proud of, and that a lot of other people will look back on and say, yes, I appreciated that. That meant something to me. I'm excited about that.
I get that. Well, last things last, tell us about the songs we're going to hear today.
Well, one of them's called The March. One of them's called Order of the Red Banner. One of them's called Unforgettable. And maybe you should just let them. They're kind of chock full of meaning, but I think as far as I would kind of just rather let them stand and
Excellent.
speak for themselves.
I'll say Red Banner and Unforgettable were songs that started over a year ago,
Yeah.
and have been actually recorded a couple times, and we're like, no, it's just not done yet, and so it's great to like be at the point we were a couple months ago. We're like, now these songs are ready,
Yeah.
and then this came along, so we're
Yeah.
like, we'll record it live on the spot. That's pretty ambitious.
When we went on this run to Asbury Park in Boston, New York, and actually John Popper from Blues Traveler showed up and played with us. It was really cool. On the last night of that run, we played Unforgettable, and we turned around and we were like, now that's ready to record.
Yeah.
So, and that was late July, and now we're doing it.
So that's one of them, and the March is relatively new, but it's
The March is, and actually the March and Order of the Red Banner have parts that I've written even in like the past couple weeks after we had already decided that we were gonna record here. There's some things that changed.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to hearing them tonight, and I think we're taking up enough time. Thank you all for your time tonight. I
And sorry to all
can't wait
30
to
and
hear
40
this.
of you up there. It feels a
And
little
thank you all for being here
pretentious to
tonight.
be sitting down
Are we
here.
ready to party now? All right.
So, you guys all ready to have a good time? Everyone ready to have a good time?